Hi, I'm John White, and welcome to Day 4 of the Countdown to Take Control of 2015. Now that we've done a simple budget and we know where our money is going each month and how much expenses that we do have, it's now time to talk about emergency savings. They're going to give some action steps on how to determine how much emergency savings that you need and how much emergency savings that you currently do have. And when we're talking about emergency savings, we need to know our monthly budget first, because our emergency savings is based on months of expenses, not on months of income. And so there's a lot of variety out there, and a lot of people saying how much of an emergency fund that one should have. I'm going to let you decide that on your own, but let's just go with 6 months. That's a nice number that a lot of people consider a good range to have. That's what my family has, is about 6 months worth of expenses. So we're going to go with that one today. But think about why we need 6 months worth of expenses. Think about if you have an emergency, if you have a job loss, a major medical event, or some other kind of tragic event. If you had 6 months worth of expenses in the bank, you'd be able to pay your mortgage or pay your rent. So you'd stay in your house for 6 months, be able to eat, and you'd be able to pay your basic bills and living expenses for 6 months. And that would give you some time to heal up, or get a new job, or whatever that event was. And it allows you to financially able to recover from an emergency like that. So how much emergency savings then, with that being said, do we need? Well, simply take your monthly budget, your simple budget that we did yesterday, and add up all the basic expense. So that's your necessities and your any kind of debt or other bill payments. We're not including any ones, because for an emergency situation, we're not going to be eating out or buying the fancy clothes or saving for a vacation. We would be on a bare bones budget. So just take the basic necessities and any debt that you have, add that total up, then multiply it by 6. And that's the amount of emergency savings that you should have for emergencies. And that's your goal to save. Now, how much emergency savings do we need to have currently? Well, simply then take the amount of money that you have in the savings today in your savings account or your checking account that's designated as emergency savings. Take that number, divide by your monthly expenses, and that's how many months of emergency fund that you do have. If that number's way small and not even close to 6, you're not alone. In fact, your number's probably going to be less than 1 if you're really honest and looking at your situation. And that's fine. But now you have a goal to aim for. You know how much emergency savings that you do have. And that number, that ratio might be, if it's small, might force you to be like, oh man, I need some more emergency savings, and kind of scare you in a good way, so to speak, to save more and encourage you and make it a priority in 2015. And how cool is that? Because now we have a budget that can help us get there and put emergency savings in our savings account. And if you're burdened with debt and you're like, oh man, I'm never going to be able to pay off my debt and get that emergency savings, that's okay. What I recommend, if you're burdened with debt, have a lot of debt, save $1,000 before you start paying off your debt, and then after you pay off your debt, then take control of your emergency fund and bump it up to 6 months worth of expenses. I'd rather you focus on getting out of debt first with a little emergency fund than getting that emergency fund set up all the way first. Well, now we know how much emergency savings we do have, and that is a pretty cool feeling, isn't it? And now you're starting to take control and have a goal. We have an amount that we know that we need for emergency savings, and we know an amount that we need to pay off our debt. And so we're starting to formulate these numbers in our head of like, wow, this can really happen. We have it all written down. We've taken some time to set those things up and know what those amounts are. Tomorrow we're going to talk about a way we can jumpstart our emergency savings by selling some stuff and some ways to get some quick cash. Until then, visit jwfinancialcoaching.com/2015 for all the daily videos and some more resources to help you out with those videos. I'm John White. See you tomorrow on the Countdown to Take Control 2015.